Have you ever noticed how certain health problems shout for attention? Chest pain, shortness of breath, sudden weakness, while others work in complete silence, chipping away at your well-being year after year. And one morning, you wake up and realize the changes have already taken root. I'm Dr. Maya Kapoor, and in over 30 years of caring for men in their 60s, 70s, and beyond, I've learned there's one small organ that rarely makes headlines until trouble strikes: your prostate. It sits quietly just below your bladder, about the size of a walnut, yet it plays a starring role in how you urinate, how you perform in moments of intimacy, and even how balanced your hormones stay as you age. And here's the part most men never hear from their doctors: the way you eat, day in and day out, can either protect this little gland or slowly turn it into the source of some of your most frustrating and frightening health problems. I've watched far too many good men walk into my clinic thinking their urinary issues, their nighttime bathroom trips, or their fading performance were just part of getting older. But when we looked closer, it wasn't simply age. It was years of unknowingly feeding their body in ways that created the perfect storm for inflammation, hormonal disruption, and even cancer risk. Today, I want to pull back the curtain. I'll show you exactly which everyday foods are silently harming your prostate, why they cause so much trouble, and, most importantly, how to start reversing the damage before it's too late. This isn't about fad diets or giving up every food you enjoy. It's about understanding what's happening in your body so you can make choices that keep you strong, independent, and confident for years to come. Let's start with the biggest offenders. First on the list, processed meats. Think sausages, bacon, deli slices, hot dogs, salami, those frozen burger patties you toss on the grill without a second thought. Convenient? Absolutely. Harmless? Not even close. These products are loaded with chemical preservatives like nitrites and nitrates, ingredients used to keep them looking fresh and tasting salty sweet for weeks on end. But once inside your body, these compounds can form potentially carcinogenic byproducts, the kind of chemicals that raise your risk of developing prostate cancer. And that's just the start. Processed meats are also salt bombs. The high sodium content increases blood pressure and makes you retain fluid, which puts extra stress on your urinary tract. Imagine your bladder and urethra working harder to push against that pressure. The prostate, sitting like a gatekeeper in that system, gets caught in the strain. Over time, this can worsen existing urinary symptoms or create new ones. Slower stream dribbling, more nighttime trips to the bathroom. As if that weren't enough, these meats are packed with trans fats and saturated fats, both of which fan the flames of inflammation throughout your body. Chronic inflammation is like rust on a machine. It wears down tissue, making it weaker, more vulnerable to swelling, and more prone to abnormal growth. I've told countless patients, if you love your morning bacon or lunchtime ham sandwich, try replacing them with fresh, lean cuts of chicken, turkey, or fish. Make burgers at home with quality ground meat and your own seasonings. That one switch alone can cut a huge amount of chemical and inflammatory stress off your prostate. Could this be the reason your mornings or nights haven't felt quite right lately? Second, excessive dairy. For decades, we were told milk builds strong bones, and it does contain calcium, vitamin D, and protein. But too much dairy, milk, cheese, yogurt can tip your hormones in a direction that's dangerous for your prostate. High dairy intake can raise circulating IGF-1 levels, which has been linked in research to increased prostate cancer risk. Cow's milk also contains small amounts of estrogen and progesterone, female hormones that, in moderation, aren't harmful, but in large daily amounts can throw your male hormonal balance off track. That imbalance can feed inflammation in the prostate or encourage abnormal cell growth. Some men also react to casein, the main protein in milk, with low-grade inflammation that affects not just digestion, but the prostate too. If you've been feeling pelvic pressure, urinary urgency, or waking up multiple times at night to urinate, high dairy intake could be part of the reason. If giving it up entirely feels impossible, switch to plant-based milks, almond, oat, coconut, and non-dairy yogurts. Or choose softer, less processed cheeses like ricotta or cottage cheese, and eat them in small portions. And while your morning latte might seem harmless, the truth is, your prostate could be paying the price. Third, foods high in saturated fats. Fried chicken, French fries, fatty steaks, fast food burgers, they're comfort foods, yes, but they take a toll on your prostate. Saturated fats are notorious for fueling chronic inflammation, and they also contribute to the buildup of plaque in your arteries. When arteries narrow, circulation slows. That means less oxygen and fewer nutrients reach your prostate cells, leaving them weaker and more vulnerable to disease. High saturated fat intake has been associated with hormonal shifts, including possible changes in free testosterone. Think of it as pouring gasoline on a fire you didn't even know was burning. Replacing these fats with healthier ones, avocados, nuts, seeds, olive oil, and fish rich in omega-3s can make a noticeable difference in hormone stability and inflammation control. Fourth, alcohol, especially in excess. A glass of wine with dinner or a beer at a game isn't the problem, but regular heavy drinking can quietly shift your hormone balance, raising estrogen and lowering testosterone. It also irritates your urinary tract, including the bladder and prostate, and dehydrates you. Dehydration makes urine more concentrated and acidic, which can inflame the delicate tissues of your prostate. Over time, that irritation can lead to chronic inflammation and a greater risk of serious problems. If you're dealing with urgency, weak flow, or that frustrating, never quite empty feeling after you go, cutting back on alcohol, especially in the evening, can be one of the fastest ways to get relief. Finally, refined sugars and simple carbohydrates, white bread, pastries, candy, soda, they send your blood sugar soaring, which spikes insulin. High insulin is a powerful driver of inflammation. It also pushes your hormones toward higher estrogen and lower testosterone, a combination that's hard on your prostate. These foods promote belly fat, which disrupts hormones and may raise long-term risk. And because sugar highs are followed by crashes, they leave you craving more, trapping you in a cycle that harms your energy, your waistline, and your prostate all at once. I'm not telling you this to make you afraid of your plate. I'm telling you this because these choices, repeated over years, are what quietly create the conditions for prostate problems to appear and worsen. And here's the encouraging part. Once you clear space in your diet by reducing these offenders, you can fill that space with foods that actively heal, nourish, and protect your prostate. Foods that not only lower your risk of inflammation and disease, but also improve your energy, your hormone balance, and your confidence. That's where we're headed next, because avoiding harm is only half the battle. Giving your prostate the nutrition it needs is what keeps you strong in the years ahead. So now you know the 5 foods that can slowly erode your prostate health, often without you realizing it. But here's the truth. Removing danger is only half the battle. The other half, the part that can truly change how you feel, is giving your body the tools to heal, defend, and thrive. Your prostate isn't just a passive passenger in your body, it's an active, responsive organ. When you nourish it with the right nutrients, its tissues can become more resilient, its hormone balance more stable, and its function smoother. This isn't theory. I've seen men reverse years of discomfort, improve urinary flow, and feel more confident simply by adding certain foods into their daily lives. Here are the 5 best foods I recommend to almost every man who sits across from me in my office. Foods that work with your biology to keep your prostate healthy for the long run. First, tomatoes, your lycopene powerhouse. Tomatoes are more than a salad garnish or pasta sauce ingredient. They're one of the richest sources of lycopene, a potent antioxidant that's been linked in some studies suggest a possible link to lower risk, though findings are mixed and a slower progression of benign prostatic hyperplasia, BPH. Oxidative stress, the damage caused by unstable molecules in your body, is one of the key accelerators of aging and abnormal cell growth. Lycopene fights that stress head-on, protecting your prostate cells from damage. Here's a tip most men don't know. Lycopene is more bioavailable when tomatoes are cooked. That means you'll get more of it from roasted tomatoes, tomato soup, or a rich homemade marinara than from raw slices alone. Add them to stews, pasta sauces, or even blend them into vegetable juices. And it's not just lycopene. Tomatoes also bring vitamin C to the table for immune support and potassium for healthy muscle function, including the muscles involved in bladder control. One of my patients, John, 72, started adding roasted tomatoes to his breakfast 3 times a week. Within months, his nighttime trips to the bathroom dropped from 3 to 1. Now, let's move to something that works quietly in your favor, yet many men overlook. Second, cruciferous vegetables, the hormone balancers. Broccoli, kale, cauliflower, cabbage. They may not look exciting, but they contain sulforaphane, a compound with remarkable anti-inflammatory and cancer-fighting properties. Sulforaphane helps your liver detoxify harmful substances, reducing the burden of toxins that can trigger chronic inflammation. These vegetables also support hormonal balance by helping your body metabolize estrogen more efficiently. Remember, excess estrogen in men can contribute to prostate enlargement. Cruciferous vegetables help tip the balance back toward a healthier testosterone to estrogen ratio, and they're packed with fiber, which supports digestion and reduces constipation. Important because straining during bowel movements can worsen pelvic discomfort and put extra pressure on your prostate. If steamed broccoli feels boring, try tossing it in olive oil, garlic, and chili flakes for a quick stir fry. Or roast cauliflower florets with turmeric and black pepper for a colorful prostate-friendly side dish. From your dinner plate, let's shift to a snack that's small enough to fit in your pocket, yet powerful enough to protect your prostate. Third, pumpkin seeds, the zinc-rich protectors. Small but mighty, pumpkin seeds are one of nature's best sources of zinc, a mineral essential for healthy testosterone production and proper prostate function. Low zinc levels are often found in men with BPH, and restoring them can improve urinary symptoms. Pumpkin seeds also contain phytosterols, compounds that can help block the conversion of testosterone into dihydrotestosterone, DHT. High DHT levels are linked to prostate enlargement, so lowering them naturally can make a big difference. Plus, these seeds are rich in healthy fats, especially omega-3 fatty acids, which reduce inflammation and support circulation. You can sprinkle them on salads, mix them into oatmeal, blend them into smoothies, or simply enjoy a handful as a snack. Just make sure they're unsalted or lightly salted to avoid excess sodium. Now, let's trade crunch for calm with a drink that's been healing bodies for centuries. Fourth, Green tea, the gentle anti-inflammatory. For centuries, green tea has been valued not just as a beverage, but as a healing ritual. Modern science confirms why. It's rich in catechins, antioxidants that fight free radicals, reduce inflammation, and may slow abnormal prostate cell growth. Green tea may also help regulate DHT levels, similar to pumpkin seeds, and its natural diuretic properties support healthy fluid balance, potentially reducing nighttime bathroom visits. To get the most benefits, choose high-quality loose leaf or bagged tea without added sugars or artificial flavors. Avoid sweetened bottled green tea. Those are often loaded with sugar and additives that undo the benefits. If you're sensitive to caffeine, opt for decaf green tea. Most of the antioxidants remain intact. Make it a daily habit, a warm cup in the morning instead of coffee, or a calming cup after dinner to help your body unwind. And finally, let's end with something from the sea, a nutrient your body craves but often doesn't get enough of. Fifth, omega-3 rich fish, the inflammation fighters. Salmon, sardines, trout, tuna. These fish are loaded with omega-3 fatty acids, some of the most powerful anti-inflammatory compounds found in nature. Chronic inflammation is a major driver of prostate problems, and omega-3s help calm it at the source. Better circulation is another gift omega-3s deliver. Healthy blood flow ensures your prostate receives the oxygen and nutrients it needs while carrying away waste products. Omega-3s also protect your arteries from plaque buildup, which benefits your heart and your intimate performance. And here's something fascinating. Studies suggest that regular consumption of omega-3 rich fish may be linked to a lower risk of prostate cancer. While more research is needed, the evidence we have is promising, and it aligns with what I see in my practice. Aim for 2 servings of fatty fish per week. If fresh fish isn't always an option, canned sardines or salmon can be just as nutritious. Just choose varieties packed in water or olive oil instead of refined seed oils. Think of each serving as a quiet investment in your long-term freedom and vitality. Now, I know what you might be thinking. That's a lot of changes. But here's the beauty of this approach. You don't have to overhaul your entire diet overnight. Even small, consistent steps can yield big results. Here's how to start. Replace 1 processed meat breakfast with scrambled eggs and roasted tomatoes. Swap your lunchtime chips for a side of steamed broccoli drizzled with olive oil. Add a tablespoon of pumpkin seeds to your morning oatmeal. Trade 1 cup of coffee for green tea. Make salmon the star of your dinner once a week to start. These changes might feel simple, even too small to matter, but in your body, they're powerful. You're lowering inflammation, supporting healthy hormone balance, and nourishing your prostate in ways that build protection over time. I've seen men who were ready to give up on feeling comfortable or confident again regain both within months of changing what they eat. Better flow, fewer nighttime interruptions, more energy, a renewed sense of control over their bodies. And here's something I want you to hold on to. Your body responds to care at any age. Whether you're 60 or 80, these changes can still make a difference. The prostate is resilient. It just needs the right environment to function at its best. We've now covered the foods to avoid and the foods to embrace. But the story doesn't end there, because the way these foods work together, their combined effect on your body, is what creates the real transformation. And there's a simple plan to bring it all into your daily routine without making it complicated or overwhelming. That's what I'll share in the next part, the prostate protection blueprint I give my patients to help them turn good intentions into lasting habits. We've talked about the 5 foods that silently harm your prostate, But here's where the real transformation happens: when you put this knowledge into action every single day, in a way that feels natural, sustainable, and even enjoyable. Because knowing what's good for you is only half the battle. Living it, that's where your health begins to shift. Over the years, I've seen men leave my office determined to change, only to return months later feeling stuck. Not because they didn't care, but because they didn't have a simple structure to follow. That's why I created what I call the Prostate Protection Blueprint, a straightforward plan to weave prostate-friendly habits into your life without turning them into a chore. Step 1. Morning Momentum. Your first hour after waking is golden. This is when your body is most ready to absorb nutrients, when your hormones are naturally recalibrating, and when you can set the tone for the entire day. Start by hydrating, at least 1 full glass of water before anything else. Then think about your breakfast as fuel, not just filler. Example, breakfast options: a vegetable omelet with spinach and tomatoes, drizzled with a little olive oil. Oatmeal topped with pumpkin seeds, blueberries, and a sprinkle of cinnamon. A smoothie with cooked, cooled tomatoes. For lycopene, frozen berries, and a handful of kale. Avoid starting the day with processed meats, white bread, or sugary cereals. They spike inflammation before you've even begun your morning. Step 2. Midday, micro shifts. Lunch is often where old habits sneak back in. Quick sandwiches with deli meat, fried sides, and sugary drinks. Instead, aim for meals that combine protein, fiber, and healthy fats. Example, lunch options: grilled salmon salad with leafy greens, cherry tomatoes, and pumpkin seeds. Lentil soup with a side of steamed broccoli, whole grain wrap with hummus, roasted vegetables, and avocado. If you usually have coffee at this time, consider switching 1 cup to green tea. You'll still get a gentle energy lift, but with prostate protective catechins instead of more caffeine overload. Step 3. Afternoon. Check in. This is when energy dips and cravings hit. Instead of reaching for cookies or chips, keep prostate-friendly snacks on hand. Snack ideas: a small handful of unsalted pumpkin seeds, sliced red grapes and a few walnuts, green tea with a couple of whole grain crackers topped with avocado. This isn't just about eating better, it's about retraining your taste buds to look forward to foods that actually serve your health. Step 4. Evening wind down. Dinner is your chance to load up on vegetables, healthy fats, and quality protein without overeating. And remember, your prostate benefits from a lighter evening meal that doesn't force your digestive system into overdrive at night. Example dinner options: baked trout with roasted cauliflower and a side of quinoa, tomato-based vegetable stew with a small serving of whole grain bread, sardines on a bed of leafy greens with olive oil dressing. Limit alcohol here, especially within 2 hours of bedtime. Reducing evening alcohol not only improves hormone balance, but also reduces nighttime bathroom trips. This video is educational and not a substitute for personal medical advice. Please speak with your clinician if you have specific conditions or medications. Step 5. Weekly rhythm consistency matters more than perfection. Even if you can't hit every target every day, aim to eat at least 2 servings of omega-3 rich fish each week. Include cooked tomatoes 34 times a week. Have cruciferous vegetables at least 3 times a week. Drink green tea 45 days a week. Snack on pumpkin seeds or nuts several times a week. And just as importantly, limit processed meats, refined sugar, and excess dairy most of the time. Why this works? Synergy. When you follow this blueprint, you're not just adding a nutrient here or there. You're creating a biological environment where your prostate can function at its best. Lycopene from tomatoes is protecting your cells from oxidative stress. Sulforaphane from cruciferous vegetables is keeping hormone balance in check. Zinc and phytosterols from pumpkin seeds are reducing DHT, slowing enlargement. Catechins from green tea are calming inflammation. Omega-3s from fish are improving circulation and lowering systemic inflammation. Each of these benefits amplifies the others. Over time, they can improve urinary flow, reduce nighttime urgency, and lower your risk of more serious conditions. Beyond food, supporting your prostate with lifestyle. While diet is the cornerstone, a few other habits can make your results even stronger. Stay active. Aim for 30 minutes of moderate movement most days. Walking, swimming, cycling. Exercise improves circulation and hormone regulation. Manage stress. Chronic stress fuels inflammation and disrupts hormones. Try breathing exercises, meditation, or even a quiet hobby. Get regular checkups. After age 50 or 45, if you have higher risk factors, schedule prostate screenings with your doctor. Early detection saves lives. Stay hydrated. Adequate water intake keeps your urinary tract flushed and reduces irritation. The emotional ripple effect. Here's what I've noticed in my patients. When their prostate health improves, the changes don't stay confined to the bathroom or the bedroom. They sleep better. They have more energy during the day. They feel more in control of their bodies, which lifts their confidence in every area of life. One patient in his late 60s told me, "I didn't realize how much I'd adapted to feeling uncomfortable until I didn't feel that way anymore." His mood lifted. He started taking more walks with his wife. They began traveling again, no longer worrying about finding a bathroom every hour. That's the kind of transformation I want for you, not just fewer symptoms, but more life in your life. A closing thought. Your prostate doesn't define your manhood, but caring for it, choosing foods and habits that protect it, is an act of self-respect. The small changes you make today can protect your independence, your confidence, and your ability to live the way you want for years to come. It's never too late to start. Your body is always listening, and when you give it what it needs, nutrients, movement, rest, it responds. So here's my gentle challenge. Pick one thing from this blueprint and start it tomorrow morning. Maybe it's adding tomatoes to your eggs. Maybe it's swapping soda for green tea. Maybe it's buying your first bag of pumpkin seeds. Just start, because protecting your prostate isn't about fear, it's about freedom. Freedom to sleep through the night. Freedom to enjoy intimacy without worry. Freedom to live fully in every sense of the word. And you deserve that. Your health is your story, and every small choice you make is a new page. If you've tried any of these tips or plan to start, tell me which one in the comments. If today's message helped you feel a bit more in control, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Leave a comment so we can keep this conversation going. If you found it helpful, subscribe so you won't miss the next time we sit down together. And if there's a friend, a brother, or someone you care about who might need to hear this, please share it. You never know how much it could mean to them.